Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. So I'm here today to talk to you about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I believe season 6. Episode Pale Moonlight, or is it In the Pale Moonlight? Probably just Pale Moonlight. So, a Star Trek captain primary duty is to protect their crew. Their job as Starfleet officers is to explore new civilizations, explore new lives and stuff like that, not destroy and not interfere in other people's lives. A captain must protect their ship. They must protect their crew. They must protect their organization, and they must protect their home. And one of the biggest ways a captain can protect any civilization or their home is to defeat an enemy in war. Star Trek is an extremely good show. It teaches you many morals, many truths, many lessons, and sadly, sometimes you have to learn a lesson in war. But sometimes, is it the right truth, or is it a bad thing to do? Because Star Trek, is about like exploring new lives and not destroying them. And war, of course, will destroy. Captain Picard famously told Wesley that the first duty to any Starfleet officer is to tell the truth, whether it's scientific truth, historical truth, or personal truth. Captain Sisko, he got the memo, but he also saw a future in which the Alpha Quadrant would fall to that of the Dominion. And it is something he feared. And as the days kept passing with the war that lasted a very long time, he decided to act. Pale Moonlight is one of the greatest Star Trek Deep Space Nine episodes there is. On a more personal level, it's one of the best solo captain episodes. And it's one of those episodes that made Deep Space Nine as dark as it did. Not dark like New Trek, where it's just all dark and gritty and people exploding and, crap like that. I'm talking about dark on a real Trek level. That a shadow will cast over a person, but you can still see some light in there. That's what the good thing about old Trek was when it came to dark episodes. And this is one of the darkest. It causes a Starfleet captain to disobey everything he knows just to save people. And this is something Gene Roddenberry would never approved of. And so, of course, this was made after he died. And so, for those who don't know, the Dominion War was caused by the well, actually, I don't know who caused this. Vernak said Sisko caused it, but I'm not really sure how that is. I'll get into that a little bit later. And so, the Dominion are controlled by the Founders, the shape-shifting aliens that look like Odo, and they're considered to be gods among the Dominion. They have the Jim Hadar, who they clone, and that's their foot soldiers, and they have the Vorta, who are their negotiators and stuff. And they conquer territories in the Gamma Quadrant. They set their eyes on the Alpha Quadrant, and they've, commenced war ever since, infiltrating many of alien species, planets and stuff, because they can shapeshift and all kind of stuff like that. And it's getting to the point where the Alpha Quadrant is really taking a beating. The only people who are really fighting them is the Federation, the Klingons, and I think that's it. I think those are really the only two alien races in the Alpha Quadrant that are fighting them. And so the Dominion also now have the Kardashians fighting alongside them. And so they don't have the brain just yet. And so they're basically kicking the Alpha Quadrant butt, and especially that of the Federation. And so Cisco is constantly putting up, like, the casualty list every morning. And there are tons and tons and tons of Starfleet officers dying. There are tons of ships going missing or being destroyed. Beta Z is one of the planets in the Beta Quadrant that just got, like, invaded. And there are many Beta Zs in, like, the Federation. And I thought, like, oh my God, no, that's like Deanna's planet. What about her mom and stuff like that? And so the Romulans are just like sitting back, watching everybody kick each other's butt because they hate everybody and they're being neutral. And so this is pissing off a couple of other Starfleet officers. It's to the point where one of them suggests, if the Romulans were to join, they can have an advantage against the Dominion. And this causes Cisco to act. It causes him to weigh the pros and cons, but all he can truly think about is stopping this enemy. And like, the episode mainly just revolves around him sitting in, like, his room and talking to the monitor as he's given a log. He wants to piece this, like, layer by layer, piece by piece, but it's all jumbled in his head. He wants to know how he got to this breaking point. So we get to go on a nice little, like, flashback of all the events that occurred. He knows he needs to get the Romulans involved, but he's a Starfleet officer. He has pride. He's gonna get his hands dirty. And for him to do that, he's gonna need a dirty person. So he goes to Garrett. And he tells him, like, I need, like, he basically convinces Garrett, which doesn't take much convincing because Garrett hates the Dominion and stuff for what they did. And so he's, he wants revenge himself because they've killed many Kardashians and stuff. I cannot say that name without saying that stinking family's name. Kardashian. I can't say the alien race names. Stinking big booty family and everything. Anyways. So Garrett's all on board, you know what I'm saying? And Garrett's a very dirty person. He's a former spy. He's worked in high intelligence. He's tortured people. He's killed people. He is a very shady person. Throughout this episode, you will start to see something that's a great Easter egg to two different episodes. As Cisco is giving his personal log, you see him first give it with his uniform unzipped. Not something you normally see a Starfleet officer do unless it's really hot or they've been working on something really for like a long time. This is a perfect nod, especially when he takes off his uniform and he's just in his red, like, long sleeve shirt and his vest. He's stripped down to more casual wear that a captain wears and stuff. This is a great nod to two speeches he gave. One was a former Starfleet captain who joined the Maquis, and, he talking about how this man portrayed his uniform. No, not him. That's the other dude. So anyway, this one dude joined the Maquis and, went against Starfleet. And, he said, I'll have your uniform waiting for you when you're ready to put it back on and be a Starfleet officer again. Then the next one was that security guard dude. And he told him, literally, you betrayed your uniform. That uniform means a lot to him. Same way it does to Picard, same way it does to Janeway, and so does the badge. We no longer see the uniform, and we no longer see the badge in the present day. And so after Garrett made contact with some of his people on his home planet, he informed Cisco that every contact that he had is now dead. After speaking with him, the Dominion had them executed. And because they wouldn't take no risks. So he knows he's going to have to get his hands dirtier. So they decide to lie and say that the Dominion is going to invade Romulus. But they have to be very convincing. They just can't go and ask for help because, they won't do it because they hate the Federation. And if you lie, they're going to want proof. Well, he knows a man that can get the job done, make a fake hollow program. And so this man is in custody, ready to be executed by the Klingons. And so Cisco is going to have to pull some strings with Starfleet and get this man out. And so this man is even shadier. Well, not as shady, but he's pretty dirty too. And Cisco knows he cannot trust this man. And, he knows that like he's pretty filthy at this point of getting his hands dirty, but they're about to get filthier and stuff. So after this man makes the arrangements to make the video and stuff like that, this man just can't help himself when he gets drunk, and he tried to kill Quark. So he had to cover that up. He had to have his security guard not write this down or keep it on the hush hush, and he had to bribe Quark, which was the funniest scene ever. That man, Armin, was made to play Quark. And he literally tells Cisco that, he likes him. He could always tell that Cisco had a little bit Ferengi in him. Because Cisco really does let him sometimes get away with a lot of crap. And but not always and stuff. Because you would think, why isn't Quark just in jail for the rest of his life and stuff, Well, they're gonna need something else. They're gonna need a data rod that the Romulans use. And the person who can get that wants a very high price. They won't buy a magic gel. The gel is used for altering DNA, and it can use for bioweapons. Cisco knows that there isn't much in the Federation and that Starfleet would never approve of this, but he's going to have to get it some way. So he actually has to go to Starfleet, and they approve of all what Cisco is doing. And I'm just kind of like, holy crap, this is not the Federation. This sounds more like Star Trek Discovery or something like that. But they go ahead with it because they want to end this thing, So he goes to the doctor, and the doctor is very suspicious and is going to write that down in his log and form a complaint. And he knows something's going on, but he doesn't press the matter even more because Cisco is giving a direct order. It would have been nice to see more people question the morality of Cisco, but they don't. So after they get the rod and they make the message and everything, something's up with that shady dude who made the message when he found out Garrett's going to be the one, arranging some stuff. The way he looks lets you know something really, really bad is going to happen. Cisco can pick up on this, but he just doesn't care at this point. Then after he makes the message, Quark's all go back to your room so I can give you a hello. And just the way he said it and the look on that man's face lets you know something bad is going to happen. So Cisco gets his hands even more dirtier. A senator from Romulus comes over to the ship. He's a hard-nosed, doesn't like the Federation, not going to help them no matter what. But he sees the video and says it's a fake. And so Cisco knows he is screwed. So he doesn't know what he's going to do. And this is going to cause the Romulans to hate the Federation even more and might even join the Dominion. Well, as Cisco has the next casualty list up, one of his officers informs him that the senator ship has exploded. And Cisco knows exactly who could have done this because Garrett said he had to go sneak on that man's ship and I think erase the flight logs or something like that. He had to do something. So Cisco knows Garrett planted a bomb. When he goes to Garrett's shop and he backhands him and makes him fly across the room, I love everything from this moment up to the end of the episode is pure gold. Cisco is interrogating the crap out of him, and Garrett's just nodding yes to everything. He's just agreeing. He's like, yeah, I did this and I did that. I killed the senator and I killed the man who made the message. And everything. And he gives a very impactful speech of why Cisco came to him because he knew Cisco was too much of a goody goody to get his hands dirty, and he needed a snake. He needed somebody who was pure like dirt, and he needed Garrett. And that's why he came to him. And he let Cisco know in a very proud speech, you know, the life of one senator and the life of one criminal will save the entire Alpha Quadrant. And he said that right there is a bargain. And it makes you now wonder, was this the right thing to do? Well, the Romulans did join and everything, and they kicked some butt for a good point in time of the Dominion. And he got what he wanted, the Federation had a good upper hand and everything. But it's the weight of what he did that tolls on him. And he debates if he can live with it or not. Like, could anybody truly live with an accessory to murder? Not just one, but two, and the two officers that was on board. So that's four. And so, like, even though he does not have the uniform on, it is still weighing on his mind. And he doesn't even submit his log. Instead, he erases the whole thing because he just can't live with himself. He feels guilty. And it makes you wonder if stuff like this has ever happened in the real world. But if you had a chance to save millions, would the life of two people be worth it? I forget that one famous speech, the lives of the few will save the many, or something like that. It's a speech we've heard like over and over and over again. And it makes you really wonder just how shady your government really is, you know what I'm saying? And what all they have done, because we all know when it comes to history, they don't keep good history records from like hundreds of thousands of years ago, and they alter a lot of history and stuff. This is one of just the most like mind-blowing episodes because it makes you wonder, did your hero do the right thing, or are they just another criminal? And Cisco gives a very profound speech, a very profound delivery of weighing back and forth. Avery Brooks, man, I have no idea what happened to that man. Like, it's weird. Like, every old Star Trek captain has always gone on to do other big TV shows after this Star Trek show ended, except for him. He did a couple of movies and then he just disappeared. He doesn't do conventions, and nobody has seen this man in over a decade. I do wonder what happened to him. And then there's the question, who exactly started the Dominion War? The writers have verdicts say that Cisco is the one who started it. But there's never really been no confirmation as to who to start the war. So you have to kind of think outside the box. And well, when you go back to the very first episode of season 1, it was Cisco and the others who discovered the wormhole that went into the Gamma Quadrant. And there, they mined the wormhole, they went into the Gamma Quadrant many times, caused many species from the Alpha Quadrant and Gamma Quadrant go back and forth and everything. And eventually, we learned about the Dominion. But nobody knew what they looked like from the Alpha Quadrant. So, at some point in time, Cisco tried to help Odo find his people, the founders and stuff. By this time, they had met the foot soldiers, they met the Vorta and everything like that, but they weren't quite sure who the leaders were until they found Odo's people and realized, oh, they are the leaders. And at some point in time, when Quark and I think, Cisco and Jake and some other people were taken captive by, along with the Vorta, Quark, being Quark, literally said, humans and the Federation, all that, they're like, monsters and they harm people and stuff like that. You can't trust them. They're savages and stuff like that. So this could have caused the Dominion to be weary. But the Dominion was going to come back and forth through the wormhole no matter what. And I guess when they saw this brand new, galaxy and everything, they decided that, hey, we might as well just conquer it and everything. That's what we do. Like, they don't really trust solids that much and stuff like that. And plus, Odo's among their people and stuff. Then you gotta remember when Odo, during the war, he killed another founder and stuff. So I guess that's what he meant when he said Cisco started the war, because it was literally Cisco and his people that discovered the wormhole, and everybody's been using it ever since. The wormhole was never activated before then, and so the Dominion would have never came over if that wormhole wasn't discovered and people kept going back and forth. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.